Hey there, boils and ghouls. I'm Mr. Macabre, and welcome back to my movie library. Yeah, we got something really, really cool to talk about today. After many, many, many years, we finally got a release on 4K that it's awesome to have. Us movie fans, especially if you're a Kevin Smith fan, you already know what I'm talking about. This has been long in waiting, and this is actually a good story, at least as far as I'm concerned. Today, well, we got in the 4K Blu-ray and digital copy of Kevin Smith's Dogma. This was a movie that was long out of print. I was very lucky. I had the Blu-ray of this for the longest time, and I consider myself quite lucky. For a long time, that Blu-ray was long since out of print. Couldn't get it. If you could find it, usually it was somebody who was selling it for a fortune. And, just usually if maybe if you were lucky, you would come across the 2-disc DVD set that, had the cardboard slip box, and, the design looked like a Bible and everything. And, disc 1, you had the movie. Disc 2, you had the bonus features and stuff, which was, a really nice DVD edition. But other than that, a lot of times, the only way a lot of people could get this movie is you either had to find a VHS tape of it, or you had to find a bare bones DVD copy of it. And if I remember, I think that DVD, the copy was in full screen. So, but now, after long and waiting, we asked and we asked and we begged and we pleaded and we finally got it. We now have Dogma on 4K. Nice restoration. I'll get into that in a second, but a really nice, beautiful edition. Look at that slipcover. That slipcover is really something else. It's gorgeous. It's like, yeah, it looks nice on camera, but I promise you, looking at it for real doesn't do it looking at it on camera doesn't do it justice. But it really is beautiful. And of course, Lionsgate, there is a steelbook of it if you want it. But, very simple but elegant. That's the best way I can describe it. It looks great. The outside looks great. The slipcover, of course, obviously, you guys know me. I'm going to put this in a protective case, keep the slipcover from getting scratched and messed up and worn out looking and everything else. But, and look at that slew of bonus features you get there. There you go. And real quick, for the digital enthusiasts, if anybody gives you a digital code for this, you redeem the code, you should be able to get the 4K option. That's what I got when I redeemed my code. But look at all that stuff you get on there. So, and it's not really anything, no really big frills or anything like that. Like I said, there is a steelbook if you want to get the steelbook. But here you got a really nice slipcover of it. The inside, the artwork is pretty much the same as the slipcover, and pretty much the same on the back there. And open it up. Here are your 2 discs. You got kind of a purple for the Blu-ray, and then you got red for the 4K. Show you right there. So I know Umbrella has a 4K of this coming out here pretty quick. So there you go. Just like I said, it's simple but elegant, and not a bad price. Considering this for right now on Amazon, I believe is at $29.99, which it's $30. That's not bad. I picked this one up at my local record store, and I paid zero money out of pocket for it because I had store credit saved up. That's the thing. I've told you guys before. That's what I do. Is I cultivate my collection. I'll go through and I'll find, okay, here's this movie that I watched and I didn't like it, or I thought maybe, I might watch it again, but it turns out I end up never watching it again. So I was like, so I got rid of some of that stuff and, got rid of it, and I was able to get some good store credit, and also too, was able to sell off my Blu-ray to help finance this. And so, like I said, I ended up paying no money out of pocket for this. So not exactly free, but kind of sort of free, I guess you could say. But there you go. Yeah, sorry, just the inside artwork is a little bit funny in that. That's the thing. A lot of these Lionsgate releases, the artwork, yeah. So you get it on the spine, it's like you have to have it in there just a certain way. But there you go. You got this is the standard edition. Let me see here. I'm gonna try. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna try to read the bonus features again on here. Okay, you have a physical media introduction by Kevin Smith, which is new. Revelations, Making Dogma, which is new. It's only on the 4K disc. Establishing Shot with Robert Yeoman. I believe that's the cinematographer. That's new. It's only on the 4K. A Dogma Q&A, which is new and it's only on the 4K. More Sermons from the Mount. New Sermons from the Mount. More Sermons from the Mount. New 4K only. Original theatrical trailer. 25th anniversary teaser and theatrical trailer. Audio commentary with Kevin Smith, Ben Affleck, Jason Lee, Jason Mewes, Scott Mosier, and Vincent Pereira, I think that's it. Optional video hijinks on Blu-ray only. You have a technical commentary with Kevin Smith, Scott Mosier, and Vincent Pereira. Deleted scenes with intros. Outtakes. Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash commercial. Judge Not in Defense of Dogma, 2001 documentary. You got storyboards, original PSP introduction with Kevin Smith. Let's see, Show West Convention Sizzle. Yeah, I think that's right. Easter eggs, how Jay thinks Kevin directs. Easter egg, how Kevin directs. My Opinion by Mrs. Harriet Wise. Okay. Let's see, UK teaser trailer, TV spots, US UK. So you get a lot of stuff, and you get some new bonus features. So I think that Lionsgate for the most part, I think they did a great job here. As far as the picture quality, the sound quality is fantastic. Does it say if there's? Yeah, you got Dolby Atmos on here. That explains why the picture quality was so great. Let's see here. What kind of Dolby Atmos? I'm looking on here. I can't find where it says, if it's, okay, yeah, it's HDR. Yeah, I believe it's HDR10. So, anyway, but still, here you go. You got this bad boy, and, I think Lionsgate, they did a good job. Even for just the standard edition, I think this is worth picking up, especially for people who, don't own the movie. People who've wanted to own this movie for a long time, it's a good bet. It's a good bargain. Like I said, I paid no money out of pocket for this because I, used store credit. But even at $29.99, and I'm sure, give it a little bit of time, this is going to drop in price, so you can get it for a more affordable price. And I know some people, for me, it was worth it because, no money out of pocket, but also too, you do get some new bonus features with it. Now, as far as the, like I said, the sound quality is great. It sounds great, especially Howard Shore's score, comes through just beautifully. But the dialogue is crisp and clean. You can hear it. The picture quality is kind of where it's kind of, I'd say about 60-40. It looks good for the most part. I would say that, like in the bar scene where Jason Lee's character, Azrael, I believe that's his name, his character, the demon, is, trying to hold all our main heroes at bay so that they can, so that Affleck and Damon can, destroy the world and all that kind of stuff. The scene looked really good. The lighting looked natural. I will say some of the digital effects look a lot better thanks to the HDR. Some of the digital effects don't look as obvious. Which that was kind of hard with the old Columbia Pictures Blu-ray of this, where it was very bright and the colors were very vibrant and vivid and everything else. That was a downside, was that the digital effects, visual effects looked really obvious. Here it looks a little bit more organic. Some shots it really doesn't, especially like at the end when our heroes get to the church and you can see Ben Affleck's was the character's name? Bartleby. His character Bartleby is, like flying in the air and he's like dropping people out of the sky, killing them and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, that's still, the CGI there still looks a little wonky, but in some of the shots, though, it does make it look a little bit more natural. Like it is, like it is supposed to be an organic part of the scene and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it looks good for the most part. Anybody, horror enthusiasts out there, I'm not sure if you know this, you probably do. If you've seen this movie and the part where Salma Hayek's character is inspiring Silent Bob here to attack Jason Lee's character right there, to attack him with the golf club, if you notice, that scene is line for line taken from The Howling. Now, I'm not even joking. You can actually do a comparison. Go to the scene in The Howling where Robert Picardo's character, Eddie, shows up and he gives the guy the gun, and it's like every line he says is exactly the line that Jason Lee's character speaks. Where he's like, come on, take it. Call it a gift. Come on, bright boy, and, don't you know anything? It's like, obviously Kevin Smith is a huge fan of The Howling because he took every line of dialogue from that scene and put it in here in this movie. I'm not joking. You go watch that scene in The Howling, then watch that scene here in Dogma, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Like I said, the transfer on here looks, pretty good for the most part. I do think some people are going to argue they're not going to be really big fans of it because some scenes are pretty dark. Some of the daytime scenes are a little bit dark. There are some shots I do think don't look really well. I don't know if that had anything to do with the 4K transfer, if that was just, if it might have been something with the way the film was shot and processed, but it's like when we're getting to the climax, when the heroes reach the church, you see them approaching and there's, chaos and dead bodies everywhere and stuff like that. You can see that it's very, very, the shots look very, very wonky. It's very blurry, kind of out of focus and stuff like that. So there are some shots in here that don't really benefit from the 4K upgrade. And I do believe that there are going to be people out there that they're not going to be fans of this. This 4K transfer, I'm going to say, it's not going to be for everybody. It does, in my opinion, there are some, iffy moments in it, but for the most part, it is watchable. It's, it probably is the best this movie has ever looked. And even still, if you're not really happy about the 4K, you still got a Blu-ray in here, so you can watch the Blu-ray if you want. But yeah, overall, I would definitely recommend picking this up. It's nice to finally have, an affordable copy of it, and it's widespread, which means it's widely available. Anybody can now get their hands on it. Anybody can now own it. It's nice, that now movie collectors, especially people that have been wanting this for a long time, now can upgrade if, all they got is the DVD, if you were one of the ones, like, unfortunately, the best you could do is maybe like the cheap, full screen DVD. That was the best you could do. Now you can get it, get it and see it in its nice, beautiful 2:3:5 to wide aspect ratio. 2:3:9 to 1 aspect ratio. I'm sorry. You see it in this beautiful widescreen aspect ratio. You get tons of bonus features on here. Like, this is what you want. From Physical Mia, this is what you want. Something that, the upgrade I think is worth it. Even if you're not sold on the 4K transfer, the Blu-ray and all the extra bonus features, I do think make it a worthy upgrade. And I feel like, if you're not a big fan of the movie, I would say, yeah, you don't really have to worry about that. If you're happy with that, and it's like, yeah, that's all I got. I got the full screen DVD, and you know what? That suits me fine. If you're happy with it, that's all that matters. Okay, I don't judge you. It's like, I'm not going to do that. I've already talked about that before. I don't judge Blu-ray collectors. I don't judge 4K collectors. I've had instances where I've had to go and, I've had to, keep certain DVDs, like Evil Dead. You guys have already heard me say I kept Evil Dead because, the 3 DVD set from Anchor Bay. I kept that because that's got all the bonus features on there. I like the two commentaries with Rob Tapper and Sam Raimi. And the other one with Bruce Campbell, I like those. I like those commentaries better. Also, too, one thing, you know, I don't know if very many people know this, but when it comes to the 4K transfer on Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead, I don't know if a lot of people noticed this or not, but it looked like either Lionsgate or Sam Raimi himself, they did some, you know, kind of like some George Lucas, you know, cleanup on the picture and stuff there, because if you look at it on the old DVD, like for instance, when, you know, the car's turning, going onto the bridge, driving to the cabin, and they mentioned it in the commentaries, you know, there's a shot, there's a guy standing there, and they say in the commentaries, you know, that was a flub. That was the producer, Rob Tapper, standing there, and he accidentally ended up being in the shot, right? And he wasn't supposed to be there. When you watch Evil Dead on 4K, you'll notice when they go on the bridge, there's nobody there. It's like they digitally removed him, you know. Either they digitally removed him or they found some way to edit around him. But you notice, like, he's no longer standing there like he was in the, you know, like when you watch on DVD or VHS back in the day. Another thing you notice is, like, you know, when you watch it on DVD or VHS, you notice, like, the full moon shot is kind of there and it's, like, in a square and everything else. You notice, like, when you watch on the 4K, they take all that stuff out to make it look like the moon is naturally there, you know, to make it look like it's in the shot, you know. So they did some digital cleanup and stuff. So it's like there are certain reasons I could understand keeping the DVD for. So I don't crap on DVD collectors. I mean, you know, yeah, I would say, you know, if you really love a movie, you know, you really should, if you can afford it, you know, if you really love a movie, I say, yeah, go out and get you the best copy of it you can get. And, you know, I would say, like I said, yeah, even though the 4K transfer has its moments of where it's like, ugh, for the most part, it does look really good. You get, you know, nice level of grain. It doesn't look like it's digitally polished or cleaned up or any of that kind of stuff. It looks nice. You know, it looks like a film. It looks the way it's probably supposed to look. You know, I'm sure that Kevin Smith, you know, was very involved with the 4K restoration of this movie. And I am hoping that we can get to see other, you know, Kevin Smith movies on 4K in the near future too, you know. It's like, I know this is on 4K, Mallrats is on 4K. I would love, you know, it's like Clerks 3. I love Clerks. I love Clerks 2. Clerks 3, didn't care for it. But I wouldn't mind seeing, you know, Clerks and Clerks 2 get a really nice 4K transfer. That would be awesome. What else is there? Red State, Tusk, you know, some of his horror movies. Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. You know, I would love to see Criterion do a really nice 4K for Chasing Amy because they got all the bonus features. You know, but some other ones, let's see here. Yeah, I said Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I already said Red State, Tusk. You know, so you get the idea. But yeah, I would love to see more Kevin Smith get the 4K treatment as someone who's a fan of most of his movies. Like I said, Clerks 3, not a fan of. Cop Out, I can do without. And I'm a poet and didn't even know it. But, you know, yeah, but Dogma, one of his most popular, one of his most beloved films. It is so nice to actually hold a nice new copy of it. And it's, you know, even though it was kind of cool to have that Blu-ray for the longest time because it was rare, it is nice, you know, that now that there is going to be a version out there that's available for everybody to own, and that Kevin Smith himself is a big proponent of physical media. And the only thing is, and he does say so, he does say in his introduction here to the movie, he does say that he is a big proponent of physical media. He believes in physical media. He's a physical media buyer himself and collector himself. The only thing is, though, is like we do know that, you know, Kevin Smith can be the kind of guy, like any wind can blow him. You know, like 1 minute he could be like, oh yeah, I champion physical media and stuff like that. And then the next minute it seems like he's like, I don't know, streaming is where it's at. So he kind of seems like he goes back and forth. I guess it just depends on his mood. But no, but on here in his introduction, he does say that physical media is very important, and it is. And especially now with the whole thing, like everybody is so panicking over the whole, you know, Warner Brothers being bought by Netflix, and now Paramount is throwing their hat in the ring, you know. So now it's kind of like who's going to get the rights to it and stuff like that. But still, like I said, I'm just so happy that now that this is now going to be widely available, so that everybody who wants it can get it. And another thing too is like, I know some people will probably be like, "You freaking idiot, man! You had the Blu-ray, that was rare and all that kind of stuff." And it's not really rare anymore. And even still, what was nice about it is when I traded the Blu-ray in to help pay for this, that Blu-ray went to somebody else who didn't want to buy the 4K. They were perfectly happy. That Blu-ray was exactly what they wanted. And they got to get it for a really good, affordable price. They didn't have to shell out the $30. They probably paid way less. And now they're going to get to take it, give it a good home, and cherish it, and love it, and watch it, and enjoy it. This works for me. Yeah. And like I said, it's like, 4K definitely was obvious, even though, it's not a perfect 4K, in my opinion. It's not a perfect 4K transfer, but it looks really good. And I am wagering to bet that this is probably the best this film has ever looked. And like I said, some scenes look stupendous in 4K. But also, too, you get a slew of new bonus features. So, altogether, yeah. This is totally worth it, and I'm glad to have it and glad to add it to my collection. And, yeah. So, Dogma, finally, nice 4K of it. I'm happy. Like I said, unfortunately, that's the downside, though, is this slipcover is a fingerprint magnet, but it does look gorgeous. It looks beautiful. You got the Buddy Christ there, everything. So, but yeah, very, very, very happy to have this. I don't regret it. I love it. Glad to have it. Just real quick before we go, just got a couple of things I wanted to show you. Got two slipcovers. This one, you're going to be like, dude, this is on 4K. I know that. I'm well aware of that. But to be truthfully honest with you, this is a movie that I like okay, but it's not a movie I watch a lot, and it's not a movie that I really feel like I need it in 4K. And this is one I'm just satisfied to just own on Blu-ray, and that is It Follows. Yeah, was able to get a nice embossed slipcover for the Blu-ray, and I'm happy with it. Like I said, I know that there's a 4K of it, and I'm sure that the 4K looks great, but the 4K, whether you get the second sight 4K, which runs you, I think, at least $30, or you get the Lionsgate Steelbook, which that's probably like $35-$40. To me, I like this movie, but I just don't watch it enough to justify shelling out that kind of money to go get the 4K. And I'm fine with just owning it on Blu-ray, and now to have to get the nice slipcover, really nice condition for the slipcover. Whoever had this before took really good care of it. So to have it, now I have the nice slipcover to put it in, works for me. Another slipcover here. This one too is also, that's the thing about these slipcovers from Lionsgate. A lot of them are fingerprint magnets, but really nice to get this one. And of course, Evil Dead 2. How could you not want a slipcover for Evil Dead 2? One of the absolute greatest horror movies of all time. Easily one of the greatest horror sequels of all time. Horror comedy gold. Just a masterpiece of a movie. And, that was the thing. When I got my 4K, when I got the 4K, it was just standard. I didn't have the slipcover. Mine didn't come with a slipcover. So it's really, really nice to get, a nice original in good condition slipcover to be able to put on there. So there you go. Look at how that baby shines. And again, whoever had this slipcover before took really excellent care of it. So it's going to be nice to put this on my Evil Dead 2 4K. Last but not least, I'm sorry, I know you guys are here for movies and you don't really give a damn about books, but I just wanted to show this off real quick. I thought this was pretty nifty. I've never seen this edition of it before, but I got Stephen King's 4 Past Midnight. This is a very, kind of a smaller than usual hardcover that I have never seen before. I've never seen this edition. Usually, I've had trouble, been wanting to get a lot of the hardcovers and first editions and stuff like that, and this one here has been hard to get a first edition hardcover. And that's like another thing too, is like the hardcover for that one is big as a friggin' cinder block. You know, Stephen King books tend to be huge, so it's kind of nice that this one here is smaller, and I just kind of like that artwork there. And you know, but yeah, it's really nice, really good condition. So you know, only paid $8, as you can see. So yeah, but yeah, I just wanted to show this off to you. I mean, you guys know I love my movies, but I like books too. I do read the occasional book now and then, you know. So just wanted to show this off real quick. But yeah, like Ice Cube and Boys in the Hood, you know, it's like, yeah, I ain't no criminal, motherfucker. I can read, bitch. You know, and I do like to read books and stuff too. I love movies. I just love stories. You guys know that. So anyway, so I just wanted to show this. I just thought that this was a really, really cool, really interesting hardcover, you know. So that was cool. I've just never seen this. I've never seen this version of the book before. I've never seen that artwork, and I just thought it was cool, so I picked it up. So we got this. We got Evil Dead 2 slipcover. Happy about that. It Follows slipcover. And Dogma on 4K at long last. So we can all rejoice, and all of us Kevin Smith fans can now own this movie. And, you know I probably sound like I'm shitting on the 4K transfer. I'm not, but, you know, this probably is still probably the best version of the movie you're going to get. So I do encourage you pick it up. If you want to wait, you know, and that's the thing that's beautiful about this. This is now a wide release. So if you want to wait, you probably wait. Price will go down. You get it more affordable. So that's it. If anybody took the time to watch all this, I thank you for doing it. I appreciate you for doing it. I also hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, would you mind leaving a like? And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Ring the notification bell. You know, comment if you want to comment. And that's it. Take care of my boils and ghouls, and you know, learn to love your movie library, and it will love you back. And that's it. So have a good night, everybody. Talk to you later.